Hi, I'm Captain Grant Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Well, this week we're going to have some different weather. It's going to be some strong winds, some light winds, Well, I guess that's kind of the norm because, Texas. Up here by the bridge, we've got a lot of these little crash channels have been holding some good trout in it. Nothing real big, but just keepers. I've been coming in here and doing some drifts, throwing popping corks and live shrimp when I can find it, or if it's that real windy, nasty weather, I'll just power pull down and throw shrimp on the bottom in these crash channels and catch lots of black drum. And now I'm starting to see those oversized drums showing up right in here, just south of the causeway. As you come into the flat, there's a couple little sand humps, scars in here, and I've been catching some redfish right on top of this, just making those drifts with the north wind. And once I get into the flat pretty good, I'll pull back around and make that same drift starting almost right at the corner of this channel all the way to the middle of the flat. And you can kind of use a judgment call when you're coming in here making these drifts, when the fish start to slack up, because usually when I get this far into the flat, the water starts getting real murky and it gets a little bit deeper, and I get more of the undersized trout. But from about right here all the way to the bridge, and it's where I've been catching the better fish, and right on top of that sand scar is where I've been getting the redfish. Up here just north of the bridge in the ICW, been getting good numbers of mixed bag drum reds and trout. When that tide's low and that wind's cranking, really even if the wind's not cranking but the current is moving, which with the wind being strong then not strong and blowing out of the north and blowing out of the south and being this close to Packery Channel, sometimes the wind doesn't even have to be blowing, but the current does need to be moving. When it's slack tide, it's really hard to catch fish in here unless you put the trolling motor down and move the boat a lot. Then you can catch fish because the fish are still here. But what gets those fish biting is that water movement, and that makes them easier to get. This little cut right here at marker 17 has been good. When that water's dumping out of there, all the fish that have been in dead man's kind of come out of here, especially on the southeast wind. It dumps out of here and comes into the channel. You can power pull down on the corner, throw shrimp on the bottom, and catch some good mixed bags of drum reds and trout. Alright, over here in Puerto Pass, we've been catching lots of medium slot black drum, especially when that wind's cooking through here. Now, I came in here right here by the church the other day, and I stopped, and it was cooking. The wind was blowing and the current was moving, but I only caught 2 or 3 drum in here, and I thought to myself, what's going on? As I got back to the dock, a couple of my buddies had come further down into Compuerta and fished over here a little more around the turn, and they had 20 drum by 11 o'clock. Now this little spot in here is pretty much the same as that, but these drum move around. They're moving in schools, so if you do come in here and that current's moving fast, and you don't catch a whole bunch, don't let that discourage you. Just keep moving in here because they're in here, and that fast current really helps the bite. I've been using live shrimp on the bottom. That's the best. If you come over here more towards the shallow water up here in the Badlands, just make long drifts with popping corks and live shrimp, and you'll get more trout and reds instead of black drum. Over here around East Clayburg Point, been getting a lot of fish. Nothing real big, but just getting some good keeper trout. A few black drum around the deep rocks, and a few redfish up shallow on the shoreline. Now, East Clayburg Point is good usually on a calm wind. You know, I don't come over here very often when it's real windy, but like today it's been real calm. The next day it's going to be calm, but then we're going to get a big front that comes through and it's going to kick things up, stir up the water. I wouldn't recommend coming over here on a real windy day. Come over here when the wind's, you know, less than 10 miles an hour, maybe 15 at the most. But if it's more than 15 miles an hour, don't come over here. Again, the beta choice is live shrimp. A lot of the lure fishermen are coming up on this shoreline here, still catching some good trout. Nothing enormous, but you know, been seeing some nice 22 to 25 inches right along this shoreline. And they're up shallow. They're in about knee-deep water. So just come in here, get about knee-deep, and every now and then you hang one of those big monstrous bull reds. So when you're throwing those corkies, hang on, because there's some really big bull reds in here.
I'm Captain Grant Coppin. Thanks for watching.